Hey everyone, it's Matt from Surf City TCG here, talking about the EDH league I'm running with Zimone Mystery Unraveler from the Jump Scare Precon from Duskmourn. This is a league in which we each started with the base level Precon from Duskmourn, and every week we're getting a set number, which is 10, of upgrades with a maximum of a certain dollar amount. Week 1, if you didn't catch that video, check it out here. I'll provide the link right here in the top right. So if you haven't already watched that video, I would start with that one. And then we're on to week 2 now, where we get to change out another 10 cards, and we get a maximum of $15 this week, up from 10 last week. So we also are going to get, we're going to continue to get, as we did last week, one free land, non-utility land. So last week I put in Misty Rainforest, which I feel like is the single best land upgrade for the deck. This week I'm probably going to go along the same route and put in Prismatic Vista, which in this deck and any 2-color deck basically does the exact same thing as Misty Rainforest. It's a little worse. It can only get a basic island or basic forest, whereas Misty Rainforest can get Breeding Pool, Hedge Maze, the Surveil lands, etc. But, you know, as I discussed last week, having fetch lands in a deck that cares a lot about landfall is critically important, because we want to hit that second landfall on most turns, and a fetch land's the easiest way to do that. It takes only a single land to get 2 landfall triggers, because you get the one that you play the land, and then you get the one when you sack the land and get a new land entering. So fetch land's very important in this deck. Other ways to get lands into play from our hand or from our deck are also extremely important. But it seemed like, you know, based on the game last week, again, last week's video includes gameplay. I'm going to talk about what I feel like went well and what didn't go well. We didn't win, spoiler alert, but I feel like the deck did fire the way it was supposed to. It's just kind of like we got stuck. And I actually want to, before we talk about any changes we're making this week, do sort of an evaluation of that game. I'm not going to go into the game, but I'm just going to talk through my thoughts and probably just pull up a notepad and like jot down some things that I feel like were important learnings from the last game. Now, obviously, we don't want to be super results oriented and look at like very specific things that happened and say like, well, because we ran into this card, we want to make the following changes, whatever. But it's all data, right? We want to consider what went well with the deck, what didn't go well. So for starters, I'd say like the first thing I think about when I think of that game is the board states were massive. Like everyone had tons of permanents. It was really clogged up. Like combat was very difficult. We couldn't get through very easily, even with our big creatures, even when we had a large board. So let's jot that down as a point, because I think was very important. And once I figure out like all the main points from the game, we'll talk about what to do about these. So the other thing that was a big deal was I was totally shut down by a couple of stacks pieces and prison pieces. For example, there was a blind obedience out really early, and while I didn't think that would affect me that much, it actually was a pretty big deal. It made it so like I couldn't attack very well. I couldn't like bring in manifests with Manifest Dread as surprise blockers ever the whole game. And we never drew a way to remove it, or if we did, there was something that was like far more urgent to remove. So that was a big deal. And then in the late game, the Amanatu player who ended up winning had a Sphere of Safety, which is like a propaganda, but for all of it counts like domain. So, you know, he has a 3-color deck. It costs 3 to attack with each creature, which was a big problem for us because we didn't have any like single huge threat we can get through or enough mana to kind of pay through that tax. So Sphere of Safety was a big issue. These 2 enchantments alone kind of like totally wrecked us. So I definitely want to look toward adding more removal, especially like that can hit enchantments. Like I don't want to specifically target the Amanatu deck because I feel like that's unfair, but I do want to make sure our removable is flexible enough to deal with the threats that we have a hard time dealing with. The other thing I noticed was stuff about graveyards. The winter deck was really firing off, and he had a very strong value engine going with his graveyard, which is what the deck does. But we didn't have any way to interact with that ever, and that felt like a problem. And then on the other side of things, we had a huge graveyard, like massive, because every time you manifest Dread, a card's going to the graveyard. And I didn't feel like we used that at all. Like it felt like a big opportunity that was just totally wasted. There was tons of cards in the graveyard. We could have either recurred, like regrew, flashback, delved something. So 2 points regarding the graveyards. We want a little bit of hate. So either straight up graveyard removal, shuffling in, something like that. And then for our graveyard, ways to utilize. Regrowths, like Eternal Witness sort of things, shuffles, delve would be nice, to use that as a resource, since if we're not going to be, the card Abhorrent Oculus, I wish it wasn't so expensive. It would be such a good fit for this deck. In fact, sorry, it's in the other list here. If we weren't on a budget, like this would be one of the first cards I would add. It's just so perfect for this deck. So if you're upgrading and you're not on a budget and you happen to have opened one of these in a pack or were able to purchase one before the price jumped, this is a phenomenal ad for the deck. So definitely look into that one. So those were the main things I thought of. I guess I felt like I never had access to any counter magic either. Either we were forced to put it to the graveyard via Manifest Dread because I wanted to manifest the other card that wasn't the counter, or we just didn't have enough and didn't really draw into it. So I at least want to look at that. Anything else? I'm just thinking through the different decks. Valgavoth deck never really went off. He was kind of mana screwed right from the beginning. So not a lot of conclusions to draw there. And then, although I guess one thing is the Valgavoth deck had a powerful room in the late game that ended up doing a lot of work and doing a lot of damage to everyone. So again, another pesky enchantment that we couldn't remove. And Winter had several of those as well. He had a Ripples of Undeath, he had a Deadbridge chant, and maybe another one or two. So definitely enchantments were a big problem for us, not just for Mamanatu, but across the board. So it's, to me, quite easy to justify us adding some straight enchantment hate because everyone was playing enchantments that were a big problem for us. So what conclusions can we draw from these points? Well, I want more removal. That is the number one thing. I felt very removal light the entire game. When I had removal, it was only for creatures, or at least it felt like that, and that just didn't cut it, or it was single target. I felt like I needed more board wipes or more things that could affect more than one thing. So that's a big one. Maybe want a little bit of graveyard hate, at least one piece that we could either find. I don't want to add a lot of tutors because those are expensive, but if it gets put in our graveyard, I want to be able to cast it or something like that. If we could have a land-based piece of graveyard hate like Scavenger Grounds, or there's a new one from Assassin's Creed, I forget what it's called, but we'll look at those too. Counters, perhaps, maybe just one or two. And then I guess the other thing I didn't really talk about is big threats from us. I never, although our deck fired off really well, it was really spinning its wheels, so to speak, I never felt like we had any capability of being a major threat or taking anyone out. I had an overwhelming stampede in my hand for quite a while, I think, but it never really panned out. So I think what we need is either a big threat or something with evasion or something that gives evasion to our whole team. So, something like that. I just want to be on the lookout. And I think I'll limit it to these few things. One other note I was thinking about is one of the most powerful cards in the deck is Ashaya. This comes with the Precon, and it makes all of your creatures lands basically. So there's a lot of combos that this enables, but at its base level, all of your creatures now trigger landfall. So that's a big deal, obviously, with Zimone. So having ways to get Ashaya back and then having ways to take advantage of all of our creatures being land is something I was thinking about. One little neat little trick that actually someone played against me a long time ago and I thought it was fascinating was they used, in fact, let's switch over to this screen real quick. So this is my edit version. They used an Oblivion Stone with an Ashaya in play. And the fun thing about this interaction is it now doesn't destroy any of your creatures because they're land. Same goes for something like Nevinral's Disc. So I'm considering adding one of these cards as a powerful combo with Ashaya. It's obviously pretty hard to get both of those pieces in a deck that doesn't really have any tutors, but these games go a little long. We see a lot of cards. So if we had ways to get these out of our graveyard and onto the battlefield or back into our hand so we can cast them, that could be a really powerful interaction for us. And I especially like Nevinral's Disc because normally the weakness of this card is that it enters tapped. So, people have time to prepare for it or find removal. But if we play this as a manifest and then flip it with Zimone, once it's already untapped, then we're in business, right? We can pop the disc. And we actually don't have a lot of artifacts and enchantments that will get hit. In fact, if we look at the deck, there's only 4 artifacts and there's only, 10 enchantments is a lot. But I was actually thinking it might be worth, given all the problems we had with opponents' artifacts and enchantments, it might be worth reducing the number of artifacts and enchantments we're running and adding stuff like Fade from History, just like a very powerful sweeper that just knocks out all artifacts and enchantments. And if we can make this somewhat asymmetrical, that could be extremely powerful and really one-sided in our favor. Same thing with something like, I didn't realize it was so expensive, but Bane of Progress, which is apparently $6 for its cheapest version. And just to be clear, I am updated to cheapest, so it's showing whatever the cheapest version is. So we have to adhere to these prices at the time of when I make the changes. So I don't know if we'll be able to slot this in just yet at $6, but it's something I want to think about for the path forward. Even though we might not add it this week, what I might consider doing is, not adding some of the artifacts and enchantments I'm considering, except maybe something like this that's going to get sacrificed anyway. And then in the future, I can get Bane of Progress in. And maybe this week I can add Fade from History, which is only 47 cents. So those are the main points, I think. We want to keep these in mind as we're making our changes. So that all being said, I'm going to dive into the changes I'm going to make this week. So last week I mentioned that I was going to probably remove the 10 or 11 cards that I wanted to get out of here before I added, but I think I decided against that. The only reason is I'm much less concerned about the specific ratios and buckets that we have enough removal, ramp, all that stuff than I am with most decks at this point. Rather, what I think is important is the specific points that I called out in the beginning of the video. So I am going to just focus on what we want to get added first, and I have this separate deck list that's just for edits. The reason that I'm doing this is so that I can use the main deck as kind of a considering section, because if I just put the cards I'm considering into the sideboard here or in considering at the bottom, so I want to have a whole bunch of cards in my considering that I'm not necessarily considering this week. So you don't need to go into this level of detail when you're doing your edits. I just find it easier to have kind of an extra whole section, which is why I have this separate duplicate deck list. But, I can certainly see that being needlessly complicated for most people. My brain works in a needlessly complicated way. So it's just something I have to cope with. So what I've already done prior to starting this video is taken the cards that I think are the most likely that I'll add this week and put them in the main deck. And what I intend to do over the course of this video, considering the notes that we just created, right, is look at these notes, figure out what can we get added for the $15 budget that we have, and 10 cards maximum, and 1 free land. So the free land, I'm pretty much set on it being Prismatic Vista. I would have added Buckleberry Fairy, but I talked to my play group, and I think that I agree that this is outside the scope of a fixing land. It does have too much utility that would be very good for this deck. In fact, it's a card I hope to add in the future, especially when I have more budget available. But for now, I think for $12.78, we can't get this in. And to be clear, this is still a great price on this card. The Oboro Palace in the Clouds from Kamigawa, original Kamigawa, used to be like a $40, $50 card. So this Lord of the Rings reprint was nice to bring down the price, but still a little much for us this week. Too rich for our blood yet, or so far. So let's put this down into considering. Prismatic Vista is almost certainly going to be the land that we add. So I'm just going to move this out of here just so it's not adding to the price. And in fact, I'll just like grab it, cut it out of here. And I'm just going to add it to the sideboard. The sideboard here is going to be like the staging for what we add to the main deck once we're done. Okay, so that's done. We've kind of got our free land out of the way. So let's take a look at what we have so far. So Zimone is counted in the main deck total, so we have 68 cards, and we get basically an extra 50 cents. So you subtract 50 cents off this total, so we still have to cut, you know, $100 or so, $102 worth of cards, and 68 cards. So that's quite a lot. Obviously, there's tons of cards in here right now, so I'm going to go through pretty quick and figure out what we're cutting. And I'm going to start by, I already have it sorted by price here, and if you don't know, you can go into advanced and add the price data like this. And then you can change the sortings and the groupings. In fact, like let's just go to no grouping first so we can see mainly the most expensive cards that are in here and decide if we can get the price down by just removing some of these big ticket stuff. So Walk-in Closet, Forgotten Cellar, this is a great card, really good card, but I'm going to remove it for now for 2 reasons. One is that we added the Ramanap Excavator last time, who does the same thing as this and was a lot less expensive. So Ramanap is here. So yeah, it was about $1.50. It does the same thing for the same mana. So we don't need this redundant effect. That is $7. The reason why I still think it's worth it is that other side. The 5 mana is really what we're looking for in this deck to be able to basically cast a Yawgmoth's Will, which is we can cast stuff from our graveyard this turn. That's something that this deck is very much looking for. So very powerful card. Hopefully the price drops a little next week too, because this is new. It's from Duskmourn. So prices are naturally higher than they will end up being on these kind of mythics from the new set. So let's get this in considering we can hope to add it next week. Druid of Purification, I love this card. I think it's excellent, but for $6, I think, you know, I'd rather add Bane of Progress, for example, which hits all artifacts and enchantments indiscriminately, whereas Druid of Purification only hits one for sure, because although everyone has to vote for something, well, actually, they don't have to vote for something, so each player may choose an artifact or enchantment you don't control. I think they actually errated this because it used to say up to 1. Let's just take a look and verify. Each player may choose. No, it always said may. Okay. But that's something a lot of people miss. But even if they do miss it, they often realize, like, if you're the arch enemy, and trust me, I've run into this scenario more than once, they don't want, you know, they'll team up to kind of negate the power of this card by just all choosing the same thing that you chose. So this card has a downside, and that is it. Bane of Progress, I want to try to get this in this week. I think maybe we won't, and we'll just get the other one, the Fade from History, which is going to be just as good. I mean, it doesn't make us a huge stompy creature, but I think getting this in is the direction I want to go. We can function really well without artifacts and enchantments being a Simic deck. We're ramping via like land ramp, right? Which this doesn't hit. We already have a very small number of artifacts, so we can, like, switching back to the types. Oh, in the main deck. So these artifacts, the only one I care about is Scroll of Fate, which is a great card in this deck. I wouldn't want to destroy it, but if we had to destroy it to hit all this other stuff that is like totally shutting us down, that's fine, right? And then Arcane Signet and even Soul Ring aren't that critical for this deck. Soul Ring's great, like I wouldn't cut it, but Arcane and Simic Signet, these would not be in the final version of any green deck, pretty much. I don't run artifact mana in green decks because why would you? Like, there are plenty of 2 mana land ramp spells that are so much better for us because they trigger Zimone and lands are just way safer, right? We're talking about adding Bane of Progress. Other people can have artifact sweepers. They don't get bounced by Cyclonic Rift, etc., etc., etc. You want to run the land ramps over these artifact ramps in green decks. Don't play artifact ramp in green deck, except for Soul Ring. That's a good rule of thumb. It's not always going to be true, but you're going to be a lot better off if you just play Rampant Growth, Farseek, Nature's Lore, 3 Visits, etc., etc., etc. So let's switch back to the no grouping. So Bane of Progress, I'm going to leave in for now. I don't know if we'll be able to make it, have it make the cut, but I want to try. Kozilek, the Broken Reality. I can't believe this card's only $6. I feel like it's so good. I got wrecked by this at the pre-release. Someone had like ramped this out on turn 5 or 6 against me in the MH3 pre-release. It was nuts. That's not the only reason I think it's good. I actually do think it's very powerful, and especially good in this deck. It turns all of our face-down manifested creatures into 5/4s, which automatically is great. And then if we're able to cast it naturally, we get that cast trigger, which is crazy good. We get to choose 2 players. We could be one of them, or we don't have to be, right? Let's say we pick 2 opponents. They both have to exile 2 cards from their hands. They get to choose them, but man, that hurts, right? You have to lose 2 cards from your hand, and they become manifests for them, so they can manifest what they think makes sense. But you draw cards for all of the cards that are manifested. So you're going to be drawing 4 on cast of Kozilek, and you're going to be potentially forcing 2 players to lose 2 cards from their hands, or you're going to get to exile 2 cards that you want to be manifested. And one thing I learned from last week's video is a lot of times I had stuff stuck in my hand that I wanted manifested, but I had drawn it. So I didn't have a lot of ways, or really any ways, to get that from my hand into play. I never drew my Scroll of Fate, which would have been great because I could have like manifested those cards from my hand, but I just never drew it. And then I'm not running enough like stuff. I guess that's one thing I missed in the notes, is I wanted ways to manifest from hand. So not just stuff like Scroll of Fate, but also like Brainstorm, which draws 3 and then puts 2 from your hand on top of your library. This sets them up to be manifested, right? Or stuff like Scroll Rack, which I think is too expensive, Sensei's Dividing Top, but there are other options that are within our budget possibility. But I'm just putting these as examples, and there's like Brain Surge, which is the new card from MH3. These are all things I want to consider this week. So I think we've cut most of the high dollar stuff. I'm just going to go through like the whole list now. I'm going to do this hopefully rather quickly, and I'm just going to move stuff to considering. I'm using the keyboard shortcuts that are in Moxfield, so Alt F4 is move to considering. That's what I'm going to be doing, in case you're wondering. And let's go ahead and just sort by... I think we'll keep it sorted by price, and we'll move from the top from the bottom up just to remove stuff. So, you know, Kozilek is great. I do want to get added. I think this week it's not going to happen, so let's move that to considering. Nezahal is a great thing to flip. One of the things about Manifest and this deck is we can't add all of like just the best big creatures because a lot of them have ETBs that matter, and we don't get those enters the battlefield effects when we flip them over using a Zimone's second ability or flipping them naturally for like paying for their cost to flip them. We don't get the enters the battlefield stuff. So, you know, we have to consider cards like this that are just great. They have static abilities. They have, you know, maybe death triggers, stuff like that. That being said, like card draw was definitely not something that we needed more of last game. We had a huge hand. We couldn't cast everything. We just didn't have the mana for it, even though we had ramped a ton. So I think Nezahal is not where we need to go, at least not this week. Excellent card, and I think a really good include for the final version of this deck, but for now we don't need it. So I'm going to move it to considering. Sun Quan, this card is very unique, and it's actually very reasonably priced right now. It used to be a Portal 3 Kingdoms card only. If you don't know what Portal is, suggest you look it up. I don't want to get into that, but this was reprinted for the first time, I think, ever. Maybe there was a Judge promo or something like that, but it had been minimally reprinted, if at all, and it's widely available now for a very reasonable price, and this card is crazy good. If you don't know what horsemanship is, it's basically flying, but not flying. So it says there, right, in the reminder text, creatures with horsemanship can't be blocked except by other creatures with horsemanship. And question, how often do you run into opponents' creatures with horsemanship? So unless they're also playing Sun Quan, it's probably quite unlikely, as I don't think many things really have it naturally. So what this means is your creatures are unblockable. That's how you should read this card. And per the things we were looking for, big threats with evasion. This is exactly what we're looking for, this kind of card. I really have been wanting to play this card forever and haven't yet found a deck that like uses it perfectly, and I think this is the deck. This is one of the like cards I want to spend a little bit of our budget on, or you know, about a third of our budget. So you know, even over something like Bane of Progress, I want to prioritize getting Sun Quan added this week. Hullbreaker Horror, this is a high priority add. This is the exact kind of card we need to make this deck powerful. It turns all of our spells into removal. It's hard to deal with because you can bounce their spells even. You can bounce permanents and you can bounce spells. So it turns every instant we have into a counterspell, kind of. This is something that we really want to get added to the deck. We can cheat it out fast and just kind of take over the game early, potentially, or we can bring it out late and just dominate with a big hand. So, you know, right here we're already at budget, so I can tell we're going to have to make some tough decisions this week, but these three I want to get in. Aftermath Analyst I think is going to be phenomenal in this deck, but I don't think we can afford it this week. Coma is another tremendous threat that just like demands an answer or takes over the game. So I think it's something we want to add like ASAP. Protean Hulk. So normally a kind of boogeyman combo card. We won't be using it for that purpose, but I think it's a great inclusion in this deck. It's just a 6/6 that dies and gives you any 6/6 from your deck. Or sorry, not any 6/6, but any 6 mana creature from your deck. Or any like combinations of 6 mana, so we can get, you know, some of the creatures that we really care about, like Paranormal Analyst, and then a 4-drop, or this, plus Shigeki, plus whatever. So, like, it's just a flexible card that I think can do a lot of work in this deck. Hauntwood Shrieker, I wish this card would come down in price already. I feel like it's not actually this expensive, so I'm a little annoyed. Like, is it really this much? I guess so. Well, I mean, 360 listings. This card's gonna start plummeting any minute. So, as much as I'd love to get this in right now, I just don't. I feel like these other cards are higher priority. This is so good in this deck. Don't get me wrong. All of these are so good in this deck. I expect this price to come down, so I think we can get this added later for better value. And, this card scales with the power of our deck. So as we get more good stuff added, this becomes better. Like, Shrieker's better when we have all of these cards in. So better that we add these first and then the Shrieker later, if that makes sense. Lotus Cobra, excellent in this deck, super good. But, and it's the same kind of thing I just said with the Shrieker. This scales with the power of our deck. The more fetch lands we have, the better Lotus Cobra gets. So I'm going to look to add this in like weeks 3 and 4 when our deck is more powerful. Uro is great, but we don't need it. It's just a nice value card. I mean, it does utilize our graveyard, but I just can't afford the $3 for it right now, even though that's a great price. Like, it's never been that inexpensive, and it's totally worth paying that for it if you don't have one. Uro is nuts. I would prefer to prioritize these creatures, and we're already like looking at a tough budget here. Kona Rescue Beastie. Don't love this card in general. I thought it was overhyped when it was revealed, but I think it's really good in this deck because, the danger of playing this card is, first of all, you need ways to tap it, right? Because no one's just going to let you attack and tap it. Except in this deck, when it's a face-down creature, it's a lot easier to get tapped. And plus, it makes blind obedience less bad for us, right? So that makes it worth it? Question mark? No. I don't think so, but maybe, again, per my last 2 comments, scales with the power level of our deck. So if we get cards added that are like big permanents that, might otherwise be stuck in our hand, Kona is looking like a juicy option, especially if we're running something like Omniscience, where we could just drop this into play. And Omniscience is a great card in this deck, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking to focus less on enchantments, artifacts. Might be a kind of last add when we get into like week 4 and 5 for final upgrades. But for now, I think Kona doesn't make the cut this week, but maybe soon. Maybe. All right, Tireless Provisioner is really good in this deck. I'm going to leave it as an option for now, but I don't think we need it. We're pretty good on mana. I don't need stuff that makes even more mana, although this is a really good one. It's the same as Lotus Cobra, though. Like, I think I would prefer Lotus Cobra. It sort of does the same thing. You have to use the mana right away with Cobra, but it costs 1 less. So I think Provisioner won't make the cut this time. Scion of Calamity, this is a good one, but like, it doesn't work super well with Manifest because we have to flip it before combat to get the Myriad trigger. So you can't really like surprise people with this. You can surprise one person with it, but I don't know if it's good enough. Let's get it out. Wonder. I think this card is perfect for this deck. We have tons of ways to get into the graveyard via Manifest Dread, and once it is, it's just another way to be evasive in a way that we don't have right now. So given that we're adding Wonder this week, we could potentially save Sun Quan for next week. Let's just consider that at the end. But Wonder is one that I'm almost certainly adding this week for 72 cents. This is a phenomenal option for this deck. Vanifar. So I skipped over this last week because I thought we don't really need this. It doesn't, it's good. It's certainly good in this deck, but I didn't think it was that important. Having played the game last time and having all those cards stuck in our hand that I really, really wanted to have on the board manifested, I'm liking the look of Vanifar more than I did previously. So this is, I think, an option for this week. I don't know if it'll make the cut, given that there's lots of stuff we want to add, but we'll see. Tidespout Tyrant. This is a worse version of Hullbreaker Horror because, first of all, it's 8 mana instead of 7. It can be countered. It's worse in nearly every way. I guess it has flying versus the Hullbreaker Horror, which is just a 7/8 with flash. But for 58 cents, I think this is going to make the cut, and maybe we can save the Hullbreaker Horror for next week. It would be great to have both. I would love to add both. But given that we want to add some expensive cards this week, maybe the Hullbreaker can save and we can get the slightly worse version that's still extremely good for this deck. It can't bounce spells on the stack, which is a really big deal, but it still does a lot of work. Colossal Sky Turtle, this is a fun one. Uncounterable, it's got channel, so we can discard it and regrow our card from our graveyard, just like an Eternal Witness. We could discard it to bounce a creature, or we can just like manifest it, right, and then flip it. It's a 6/5 flying ward 2. That's nothing to scoff at. Not a super high priority to add, but maybe it'll make it for this price. This is Triniform's a really good card. So is what's the other one? Triplicate Titan for this deck, because like as a surprise, like let's say Winter's attacking us, right? It's got Death Touch. If we flip Triplicate Titan at instant speed by getting 2 landfalls, block with it, and we make all 3 of these golems, that's really good for us, right? And kill Winter. But first of all, this is too expensive. But Triniform's not, right? Triniform's pretty good, and it's got this Encore ability, which is not insignificant, could matter late game. However, given that it's an artifact, I think we're going to skip it, because I want to focus on the let's go the no artifact and enchantment route as much as possible. I think that's the direction I want to take this deck. So let's get this out of here. Sphinx of the Second Sun. This is, I love this card. Anyone who knows me or has been watching my videos knows I love Shadow of the Second Sun, which is the enchantment that is based on this creature. This is the original version. It's the Sphinx. It's a 6/6 flyer that does the Shadow of the Second Sun thing, which is phenomenal. But we just don't need like a draw engine card, and we don't have tons of ways to use our mana on opponents' turns. We can flip Manifest, which is not nothing. I'm going to leave it in the considering for now. I think the fact that this is a 6/6 flyer makes it actually... This is one of the only decks where I feel like this is better than Shadow, because first of all, we're minimizing artifacts and enchantments, as I've mentioned several times, but second of all, we just need some big beaters, and it's very easy to just flip this and not have to pay the mana cost. So it's almost like... This is almost like a Reanimator deck in a way, like a weird version of a Reanimator deck. That's sort of what Zimone does. So if you think of it that way, you can start thinking along that lines, and that's why we're looking for some just like big beaters. Ixodron. This is a really interesting one. I think it's phenomenal in this deck. It turns everything face down except for Ixodron. And stuff that's face down, if you flip someone's commander, they're in big trouble, because they cannot flip it. There's no way for them to just flip it. It's not a manifest, right? They can't just pay the mana value to flip it. It's stuck face down as a 2/2 creature, and they can't do anything about it except for sacrifice it or get it killed in combat somehow. And that requires an opponent to kind of collaborate with them. So if an opponent's willing to block their 2/2, maybe, I'd say, like, I haven't played with this card, but I'd say the way I see it going is opponents are all affected and they're all annoyed when you play this. So they're probably willing to collaborate and like crash their 2/2s into each other in order to get them like back, essentially, right? That's the only way to get their commander back into the command zone, is have it die. But that takes a lot of time, and this is very powerful in the meantime. And if we flip some stuff over that we actually want flipped, so like I'm looking at adding some of these cards that do something when they flip, and I think there are a couple in the deck too. That's actually good for us, right? And if we flip our commander... Oh, I hadn't thought about this. I suppose that's a problem. Because if Ixodron flips Zimone, then we have no way to flip her back, naturally. I guess the play is to like land this when Zimone is not out, or when we have some other way to flip her, but I don't know if I want to go through that headache. And like, this is a toxic sort of card. I don't love playing effects like this because it just makes the game unfun, potentially. So I'll just leave it in considering for now. I kind of want to add Altenac. I wish I had added him last week. This is like the perfect card for this deck. It's a huge beater, 9/9 trample for 7, which is a great rate. And it's got this like extra text, it's word, you draw a card, essentially, right? Who cares? But the nice thing is this two mana instant speed channel, basically. I don't know why this doesn't say channel when everything else does, but whatever. That returns a land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Now, we don't have a ton of fetch lands to take advantage of this, but Manifest Dread puts tons of lands in the graveyard. So this is basically a 2 mana instant speed ramp spell. And instant speed ramp is this deck's bread and butter. It's why I prioritized so highly adding stuff like Harrow and Entish Restoration last week, because these trigger 2 landfalls at instant speed. These are 2 of the most powerful cards like that are possibly available for this deck. So I think there's even another one. Maybe we should look to add that too. Roiling Regrowth. Is this an instant too? Where is it? It is. So this is the worst one because, Harrow, they're all pretty much the same, but Harrow brings the lands. Harrow's the best. They're all sort of similar. They're 3 mana, they require you to sack a land, and then they bring in 2 basics. Harrow brings them in untapped. Entish Restoration brings them in tapped, but you get a 3rd land if you have a creature power 4 or greater, so that's sick. And then Roiling Regrowth is by far the worst of the 3, but it's still really good in this deck, so I might just add this also. I don't want to add much more ramp because we're pretty good on ramp, but Roiling Regrowth's like kind of too good to pass up, and same goes for Altenac. Any way to get a land at instant speed is really powerful. In fact, Crop Rotation is a really good fit for this deck too. I think I have it in considering. I should have it in considering. But we just don't have any. We don't have any like super great lands to get with it yet. Plus, it's a little pricey, so maybe I get that added in the future. So I like Altenac. Brine Elemental is really, really good in this deck and quite annoying. Keeps everyone from untapping for a turn cycle. If we have ways to like turn this back over and keep flipping it, that's just like the trolliest thing you can do. I might consider adding this because I've lost 2 weeks in a row and I'm sick of it. I'm looking to add something toxic myself. I don't know if we'll have room with only 10 ads potentially, but you could see how this could be really good. Den Protector, just any Eternal Witness kind of effect when it flips. Good option. I think we might be able to get it in, but we'll see. Anok Survivalist is a Reclamation Sage sort of effect when it flips, so we can consider this. And then I want to be pretty, since we have so many creatures we're considering, I want to really kind of be hard on what we're cutting from everything else. So Noxious Revival is great in this deck. Putting something from our graveyard on top of our library is really strong because we can Manifest Dread it, right? So we put our like favorite creature, and for the same reason, something like Worldly Tutor or Sylvan Tutor, those cards are really good in this deck. It's just like we can't afford tutors at this point. Noxious Revival is one I'm almost certainly going to add in the future. I just don't think we can afford it right now. I'm just going to update to cheapest one more time, make sure we do have, in fact, the cheapest versions of everything. All right, considering. Moment's Peace, I really like it in this deck. In fact, stuff with Flashback, just really strong. But there's another fog I want to add instead this week, so I'll talk about that when we get to it. And it's not Arachnogenesis, as some of you may have been thinking, although I think this is an excellent card in this deck and in this meta, but not this time. Brainstorm, high in the list of something I want to add potentially. This lets us like kind of resculpt what's in our hand and what's on top of our library. Normally putting the stuff back on top is a disadvantage, but when you have a way to take advantage of it like you do in this deck, that makes Brainstorm even more nutty. So probably almost definitely adding this week. Ghostly Flicker. This is a card I haven't played a lot with, but is ultra powerful. It can do some crazy stuff. Like, for starters, it's a protection spell, potentially. It stops our commander from being targeted by spot removal, basically like fizzles their spot removal because it, the original thing that was targeted isn't there anymore and it's a new object. But then it can also flip anything we have manifested, and it can like do stuff like reset lands. Like I saw on, I think it was a Game Nights video recently, someone played it to, they were playing the Everflowing Well, a card I love, and they used it, once it had flipped into a land, they used Ghostly Flicker to have it come back in as the Everflowing Well again. So they got the ETB to mill 2 and draw 2 again. I thought that was so neat. I want to do that. That being said, I don't think this really makes the cut. Although one thing I didn't mention with this too is that it triggers double landfall for us again. So actually maybe Ghostly Flicker is just straight better than Roiling Regrowth. It doesn't ramp us, but it does do the same thing in giving us double landfall if we need it. I'm just going to leave it in considering for now. This is another one that can like blink a land, and it can also protect our commander, like Slip Out the Back. Maybe this would have been better to add than Slip Out the Back, but I didn't think of it at the time. I think probably not going to make it this time. Same thing with Planar Genesis. I think it's really good, but we have some better options to add this time. Okay, here's the fog I was talking about, Blessed Respite. So it's a fog that also lets us shuffle someone's graveyard into their library. Sorry, Winter. This I think I want to get added this week. It's 2 effects that we're really wanting, and just this 2-in-1 power. The problem with this is like it's hard to get advantage from both at the exact same time. It's not that hard, right? Because you can like hit Winter's graveyard whenever, but the best thing to do with an instant speed graveyard removal is wait till something's on the stack to get returned and then use it. But that's not quite as necessary with the Winter deck because they're always reanimating on their end step. It's not like they're going to be casting a reanimate spell and you're not sure when it's going to be, and then like specifically responding to it will fizzle or reanimate, for example. So I think this is worth it. I want to test it out. I have a copy of this card. I've never played it. I think this is a good home for it. Filter Out. This card's really good. I've played it in a couple decks, and it's just always so powerful. I think this is a perfect board wipe for this deck, especially as we're looking to minimize our artifact and enchantment count. This is something I want to add for sure this week. I think this is a great home for this card. Twist Reality. This is a nice little counter that like does what we want. Let's leave it in as a considering for now. Man, I wish we had more slots. I really want to add so many of these things. This is a nice artifact or enchantment board wipe, but I think we're going to focus on just the Fade from History this week. We'll probably save the Bane of Progress, the Season of Gathering for a future week. 3 visits. We definitely don't need this for these prices. We don't need this sorcery speed ramp. So let's just get all of this out. We have plenty of these effects. Thalgavas Onslaught, this is nice on-theme card, but like I just don't think we need it. We don't need just buffed manifests. We don't need more manifest dreads. We don't need it. Pick Your Poison, this is coming in. This card's great. I wish I had added it last week. Really good card. Very flexible. Temporal Trespass. So for 287, I feel like this is a good value, but maybe we save it for a future week. I don't think we can afford it this time, and it's not quite... The deck's not powerful enough, right? Yet, as the deck scales and gets more powerful, an extra turn effect becomes stronger. And for 3 mana, you can't really beat this. We're easily going to be able to delve 8, especially late game when we want to be casting this, so definitely an option I'm considering in the future. So yes. The lands, the lands are really good. I may try to make room for one, but we added 3 last week, and I got out all of the lands I really didn't want in here, with the exception of Vine Glimmer Snarl. And this week we're adding the Vista, so I think I swapped this for this. I like 38 land, as I mentioned last week. I don't want to change that. And we actually ran out of basics last time, so I don't want to remove any basics. I don't think that's likely to happen very often, but I think we probably skip the lands this week. Probably. Let's just get them out for now. Whoops. I hate how it jumps around like that. We have to put propaganda back because we haven't talked about that yet. I guess I'll leave these two for now because I do want to talk about those. And let's leave Ghost Town. Let's leave these 4. Yeah, so, well, Demolition Field, actually, we don't want that. Wait. Oh yeah, the other one's Scavenger Grounds. That's what I meant. Scavenger Grounds. Put this back. And propaganda needs to go back. Okay, so let's talk about these 4 lands in particular. I don't think I'm going to be adding any of them this week, but I do want to talk about them. So Scavenger Grounds and Abstergo Entertainment, this is the Assassin's Creed one I was talking about. Both really good options for this deck, I think. Abstergo Entertainment is particularly good in a deck where we're not really using the graveyard that much, like this one, because we get this kind of bonus. It's like Scavenger Grounds, right? Exiles all graveyards, but we also get this bonus effect of being able to regrow a historic card. Historic card being an artifact, legendary, or saga. The only thing is we're not going to have many artifacts, although if we run something like Oblivion Stone or Nev Disc, that's a good one to get back with this. Pretty good. And then I'm sure we've got some good legendaries as options too, especially if we add something like Coma. So this is something to consider, but I think we just won't have room for ads this week. And Scavenger Grounds, I really like having this as an option. You don't ever have to pop it, but it kind of like just sits there. And if you ever really need to pull the trigger, you just do. Let's leave this in considering. Ghost Town is like a cheaper version of the Oboro Palace in the Clouds, but you can only bounce it to your hand on opponent's turns, which is fine. Like, we have ways to play lands at instant speed, like especially if we add something like Horizon of Progress. In fact, these two add well together because Horizon helps you replay Ghost Town, once per turn cycle. It's not necessarily what you want to be doing with your mana, but it's a nice option if you're flooded or something. But let's get these 2 out of here and leave just the Scavenger Grounds as the option. And then let's lastly look at these enchantments. Spelunking would be nice, but I just don't think we have the room for it yet. Trade routes, again, would be nice. I think this is the perfect deck for trade routes, but I don't think that we have the slots for it yet. Propaganda. I'm a big fan of Propaganda. I feel like it's an underrated card, and I know that's a little weird to say because it's played all over the place, but I think a lot of it's popular for people to say that this card isn't that good, and I just couldn't disagree more. I feel like it's really hard to quantify how powerful an effect like this is, because you don't always see the impact of it, right? There are the times where you do see it, where people forget about it and then they go to attack you and you're like, propaganda, right? But then there's tons of players who do remember that it's there and then they're just not attacking you and you don't necessarily realize that this is why, but it's why. And I just think that it's just such a powerful effect for only 3 mana. And in precons especially, where removal's a little bit lighter, there are less board wipes, the board tends to be pretty flooded, an effect like this is just hard. There's nothing, I'm trying to figure out how to say what I want to say. This effect is incomparable. Like, there's nothing else quite like it, right? And it's an enchantment, it's hard to remove. That being said, it's an enchantment. We're adding Fade from History. We probably don't want to add it for that reason. So I think we'll cut it, but I don't know. It's sad. Okay, we definitely don't want both of these. I think let's figure out which one's better. They're similar price, right? So The Oblivion Stone has the benefit of the synergy with Ashaya, right? Because it destroys all non-land permanents. And the disc doesn't. So I think let's leave the stone for now. I don't know if I'm even going to add it. Maybe it gets added in the future. Because how many cards do we have at this point? We're down to 24, or aka 23, right? 15, 21, 23, yeah. So we still have to cut 13 more cards, and we have to cut about $8 more. So $8. Well, it has to be some number of these cards, right? So I think let's just take a look back at our notes. So what did we want? We wanted more removal. We wanted some graveyard hate. We wanted maybe some counters. I think that's something that we didn't necessarily get added, right? Do we have any? We have the twist reality. Another one I would consider is, let's just flip over to our types and tags. Counters. Okay, so I like Void Slime. Let's consider that one. I like Arcane Denial. And I like an offer you can't refuse. So we're not going to add all those. I just want them to be in the cards we're considering this week. So what else? Big threats and evasion, and then ways to manifest from hand like Brainstorm. So Brainstorm, I think we're pretty set on, right? So what I'm going to do is like put everything in the sideboard that I'm thinking is not a definite. I just want to have the definites in. So sideboard, sideboard, all of these are sideboard. Tidespout. I think Tidespout is going to make the cut. I want to consider this as a definite. Same with Wonder. Vanifar is not necessarily. Sun Quan, not necessarily just because of Wonder. Otherwise, I would say yes. These two I want in. I'm going to go for it. I'm going for the no artifacts and enchantments route. Or the minimal. Oblivion Stone, I think, is a maybe. This is a maybe. Maybe, 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 maybe. Okay, so let's look at what we think is maybe definites. Tidespout, I'd say yes, just because it's so inexpensive and really is just a powerful card. Wonder, yes, 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 yes. This is a maybe. As powerful as it is, I think we have plenty of ways to get lands. We weren't having any trouble manifesting dread or flipping last game, so I don't want to prioritize adding more effects like this when it was already working. So same with this. Okay, so these are, I think, the definites. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have only 3 we can add. And let's update to cheapest. And then let's get the calculator. So we've got 2870 minus 50 cents for the commander, minus 2470 for the sideboard. So what we have as our definites is only $3.50, which is nice. Means we have another $11.50 to add with only 3 cards. So you can see why I did it this way, because it really like gives us a clear picture. So what did we add with these definites, I guess, in terms of what we were looking to add? Let's consider that, right? So we wanted, I should probably use something that wasn't Notepad so I could like strike through or something, but who cares? Okay, so we wanted some removal. We did that, right? We did Graveyard Hate with the Blessed Respite. Counters, not yet, right? Big threats and evasion. We did evasion. Let's separate these. We did evasion with Wonder. Big threats kind of. Let's put like 1/2. I guess we got the Tidespout Tyrant. I'd say that's a, it's a big threat, but adding another one I think would be good. Ways to manifest from hand. We got that with Brainstorm. Okay, so we have hit everything we've wanted except for counters, which is not like necessarily, how many counters do we have like right now? I know I didn't really draw any last game, but that doesn't mean, so there's only one. Caribou Spell Snatcher is like maybe a counter if you're lucky. I drew this card last game and it like I couldn't ever manifest it, so that was annoying. I feel like it's really good when it's really good, but it just didn't work out last game. So yeah, we only have one counter. No wonder I didn't draw any. So I definitely want to add a counter. I think the best one is an offer you can't refuse. And since we have a lot of money to work with, let's add that. And then, Arcane Denial I think is high on the list too. I wonder if we can cut any of this stuff. Not really. I like all of this. The only thing I would possibly consider was the Blessed Respite. Everything else I really like. Maybe Pick Your Poison? No, Pick Your Poison's just too good for 1 mana. Okay, so we've got 2 cards we can add, and we just added 375. We have 775 left for 2 cards. So, like, I'm just looking at prices to see if anything, like, matches. Hullbreaker plus Protean Hulk. Hullbreaker is, like, counters, too, right? It's like, in fact, I don't think I have it tagged that way, but we should probably tag that as counter also, because once it's in play, everything that's an instant is now a counter, so I kind of like adding Hullbreaker, even though we're already putting in Tidespout. We could take out Tidespout if we add Hullbreaker, but having both is not bad. And then we've got, so let's say we just kept this for now, 424. We have 351 left. So if we added Protean Hulk, the only problem is the 2 big threats we just added, we can't get them with Protean Hulk because they're 8 and 7 mana. So like, what does Protean Hulk get us if we're able to block with it and it dies? Like, blocking Winter is, I think, a really solid way to get Protean Hulk killed, because even if you assume you can flip this as a surprise blocker, people aren't always going to be attacking with something that will kill this, right? So you can't always assume it's just going to die that way. But since one of the commanders has Death Touch, I think it's more likely that we can like engineer a situation in which Winter, because Winter wants to be attacking, right? Winter says it's a 2/5 or 2/4 Death Touch, and when he attacks, he mills cards. So he's always looking for someone open to attack. So I think if we just had one manifest up, he would be more likely to want to attack into us, and we can be like, surprise Protean Hulk, kill Winter, and we get, what do we get? So let's sort by mana value. First of all, let's look at our 6s. AC's really good. So is Curated Beastie. This is probably going to get cut, even though I didn't get to do the thing. Temur War Shaman. Okay, there's a lot of really good stuff. I'm not hating the look of Protean Hulk, honestly. What else in here that I like really would be sad not to add? So I'm just going to remove this stuff. No. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Altanak I was really hoping to add. I wish we had like 5 more cards we could add. Void Slime. No. 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 Don't care about any of this stuff. Vannifar I think would be pretty neat. Coma would be nice. Sun Quan I think next time. Okay. So where are we? Let's redo this calc. So we're at 21.46 right now. Subtract 50 cents for commander, subtract 9.47 minus 15. So we've got 351 to work with and one card. So that means Protein Hulk would be the best fit from a budget perspective, but we don't have to hyper focus on that. What if we remove Tide Spout, since we've got the Hull Breaker, and let's say we added Coma. Okay, now we have 46 minus 50 minus 634. Okay, now we have 38 cents for one card. That lets us put in Altenac. Could we get Vanifar in somehow? I would love to get Vanifar in. We'd have to switch out like Coma for Protean Hulk. I don't know if I want to play Coma, honestly. It's really good, trust me. Like, unquestionably good. I can't stand to play against it. Do I need to get over it and just play it because, like, we're playing Simic and we need some freaking threats, or we just can't win like last week? I don't know. Drop a note in the comment with your thoughts. I hate playing against this card, and therefore I hate playing with it. I like to operate by the golden rule, and I feel like not playing Coma is there a rule more golden than that? But it would be really, really good in this deck. You know what? I've lost 2 weeks in a row. Fuck it. We're going evil. Coma's in. Let's just add Altenac and be done with it. You guys are probably sick of listening to me, right? So what did we add? We added 2 board wipes. Nice. Some bounce, more removal. 2 counters-ish. Some ways to fix our hand. A fog and a graveyard hate piece. And an instant speed thing that can also be a big stompy threat. Plus Coma, evasion, and more removal. The only thing I wish we had more of was like regrowth effects, like ways to use our graveyard. Like, I would love to add something like Snapcaster Mage to this deck, or even just like a big thing that like casts stuff from our graveyard or regrows from our graveyard, like Is that the right tag? I think so, right? Okay. So what if we looked at like regrowth cards that were creatures that are like, I don't know, let's just say mana value. Whoops. Mana value greater than 5. What does this get us? And let's order EDH Rec. This is the card I was thinking of. So when it enters, you return a card. When it dies, you can exile and then you return a card. Let's put this in considering. I don't think it's going to make the cut this time, but I like it as an option in the future. Scholar of Ages. This is the other card I was thinking of. Let's put that in considering too. The only problem with these cards is like they're really bad to manifest, so I don't know. Actually, forget it. Let's just finish. Everything can't be perfect. I need to remember that. Alright, so let's take all of these, cut them, drop them into our sideboard. Just check the price and get the dollar amount. I'll take Prismatic Fist out for now. And we'll just drop this in the main deck. Okay, and let's update to cheapest. Alright, so we're at, yep, 1477. Pretty good. I'm happy with it. Let's just sort by name. Grab our screenshot. And we're good to go. I'm just going to get the considerings added back to the considering here. And we're done. So those are the 10 we're adding. Let's talk about what we're taking out. Alright, so I'm sorted by mana value. So first of all, we've added the Prismatic Vista already, so I'm just going to pull out this Fine Glimmer Snarl. You're out of here. So normally I'd like to look at the types and tags, but I think there are a lot of cards in this deck that I'm just like pretty ready to remove already. So actually what I'm going to do is just move the stuff out of the sideboard temporarily and then add stuff there, and we'll do the editing from there. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to move stuff into the sideboard if I think it's cuttable. So definitely Overgrown Zealot. You know, he's cute. He can, I guess, like help flip stuff, but I don't think I ever flipped anything for its mana cost, and we just don't want a mana dork in this deck. Arcane Signet, Simic Signet, you're definitely going into considering. Let's start with the enchantments because we want to prioritize getting these out. Sandworm Convergence, you're not worth it. This card was in my hand like the whole game. I just never felt like it was good. Maybe I should have played it. When you unlock this door, you manifest dread and blah, blah, blah. So the left side is irrelevant pretty much. The right side is where it's at. When a creature deals damage to a player, I can flip it. So like it makes them want to block the face down stuff because you could flip it otherwise, but like, I don't know, I was finding no issues flipping stuff. I was finding way more issues like not having stuff I wanted to flip. So I think I want to consider removing this. If I don't remove this now, it's definitely getting removed in the future. It's fine. It's just not good enough for what we want to do. We want to use Zimone to flip our stuff. We don't need like this backup way to flip our stuff. This card, this is a like nasty combo card that like does some wacky stuff in other decks, but like I don't understand why it's in this deck. Yeah, we're getting a bunch of landfall. I get it, but like tap or untap a creature, that doesn't matter. Scry is nice, but like don't care about this card. Wilderness Reclamation, it's okay, but not good enough. This card's sweet. Like, this was one that I would be sad to get destroyed if we have to, like, you know, pull the trigger on one of our enchantment board wipes, but this is a cool one because, like, if you manifest a Beast Within or something else, you, like, can still cast it later. So this is a cool contingency plan. Definitely not cutting it this time. Maybe in the future, but I don't think so. It's just really unique and interesting. Came from the Pipes is really good, and it gets value on ETB, so even if it gets destroyed, no biggie. So we're not cutting that. This card was absolutely bonkers. Definitely not cutting this. It did so much work. I got literally every basic land out of my deck with this. This card is the best card in the deck. Every time you manifest Dread, you get a basic, which like lets you flip it. It turns every manifest Dread into an additional landfall for you. This card is so good. This is like a redundant effect of threats around every corner. I don't think it's as good, but having a second effect that does this seems really good. I'm not cutting this. Secret Plans, also very good in this deck. Great to get down early. If it gets destroyed later and we got some value out of it, that's fine. Whenever you turn a permanent face up, put a +1 counter on it. I think this card's good. I don't see myself cutting it probably ever. Yeah, I'm happy with just leaving these. And, you know, we haven't decided for sure on these cuts. I'm just putting everything there that I'm thinking about. Dig Through Time's really good. We have some way to use our graveyard that's just full. I didn't actually remember that this was in the deck, but I like it. Hypothesis, this card's weird, and it was very, like, headache-inducing to figure out, but I think it's good. Eureka Moment, good enough. These are all good. Cackling Counterpart, it's okay. I like that it has flashback. We can, like, use it later. It's instant, which is good. I don't think I'm cutting it this time. I'm going to put it in there, but I doubt I'll cut it. Pretty much not wanting to cut any instance. Instance, just too good. Predation, this is fine. We'll probably cut it next week or something. I'm not going to cut this. It's a nice finisher. It's a way for us to win, potentially. This is a board wipe. It's a really weird one, but, like, okay. Not cutting board wipe at this point. Maybe next week. Aethergale, this is a good card. Probably not cutting it. Maybe in the future. Yeah, not cutting any of this stuff. Alright, let's take a look at the creatures now. Like it. What does this do? So when it enters, it bounces itself. You manifest dread if you don't have any face down creatures. Otherwise, whenever one of your colorless creatures hits, you draw. This seems fine enough for this week, but definitely on the chopping block in the future. Scoot Swarm's good. Scab Ruinator, you're out of here. I really like Yavimaya Elder, but it felt really bad when I had it. Sorry, buddy. Enters tab, put 5. Does this trigger landfall? Nice. Triggered abilities such as landfall will see that a land has entered and not a creature. Okay. So, Eric Smithies, maybe you have a stay of execution for 1 week, but you know, watch it. You better perform this week or else. You can take a trip to the glue factory. I really want to, like, counter something with this, so I'm not going to cut it, but I don't think it's very good. Ugh. I have, like, just an unreasonable, like, hate for this card, but it's actually, like, pretty good, I think, or it's good enough, so I guess I'll leave it for now. Hydra Omnivore, ugh, you suck. I wanted to, like, get one hit with it so people would be scared of it, but meh. Multani, it's just a big beater. It's fine for now. Stuff's all good. Yeah. Okay. So what do we have? We have... Was that everything? Yeah. Okay. So I've got 11 cards here. I can put one back. I already cut the land, right? Straight up? Yeah. Okay, so I get to put one card back. Let's take a look at our curve. Actually, let's add the new stuff and then take a look. Okay. So let's look at types and tags. Let's also look at our curve. Okay, curve's looking better. We still need more 1-drops, but we're good here. 3s are a little high. 4s are nice. Come down, that's good, because Zimone's 4. You know, I think curve's a lot more difficult in this deck because, like, you're going to be cheating out a bunch of stuff, so um, in general, I guess I want to add a 1-drop if there is a tiebreaker, but I'm less concerned about the curve, more concerned about just, like, what do we need more of in the deck. So let's take a look. So we've got, from a removal perspective, because I think that's a priority, we now have a bunch of board wipes, so that's nice. In fact, I think Azuri's Predation is fine this week, but definitely considering adding or removing it in the future. We've got some bounce, which is like removal, and then we've got some like straight up removal, which is good. I think having another like piece of targeted enchantment removal would have been good. Like, what is the thing that exiles 3 enchantments? That I think would be really good. What is that card called? Barrier Breach, this card. Let's put that in considering. It's got cycling too. Yeah, I like this card. Actually, can we get this in somehow? I know, I'm doing the thing. Stop me. I'm like going back. We're already done. We were already done. You thought we were done. Ha, we're never done. So we're at 1490. We can cut anything. Is Barrier Breach better than Pick Your Poison? Is it better than Filter Out? Is it better than Altenac? No, let's just save it for next time. Let's just not change anything. Okay, so I have some untagged stuff. That's annoying. Let me fix that real. Okay, so we've got plenty of mana and ramp. We don't really need more of that. We've got a decent amount of removal. And then in terms of, yeah, that's pretty much all I cared about. So I guess just like, what do I want the most out of this, given that we don't really need anything in particular? No, no, no. Maybe. No, no, no. How good is this? It's enchantment. Let's say no, 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 no. Let's add Cackling Counterpart back. I think this is just a nice, like, late game effect. Oh, can only copy a creature I control. Ugh, gross. Why can't this thing have trample? What can we copy with the counterpart? Not legendaries. That's a great target. That's a decent target. No. Yes. Okay, counterpart's in. Do we have Tidespout too? No, we didn't end up adding that, right? Okay, that's fine. Counterpart's good enough. You made it, buddy. All right, we are finally done. Hey, under an hour and a half. How you like me now? Anyway, thank you for watching, if you're still watching. And I am going to post a gameplay video now, and let's cross our fingers and see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm really trying to build my subscribers, so if you've been watching my videos and enjoying them, please let me know and show some love by dropping me a subscription. Really looking for more people to join my Discord too. We have a really active Discord with some great discussion, deck help. I I've been helping a lot of individual people work on upgrades for their decks, so feel free to join and get some like custom tailored help just for you, and hope to see you there. Thanks for watching and enjoy the game.
There's no infinite.
Okay, very well.
It does go near infinite. It is a 3-card.
Okay.
4-card combo.
As long as you're not like looking to do it, I'm fine with that.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna look to do it.
All right. Oh, I just realized my camera got bumped. There we go.
Probably if I do tutor, it's gonna make it so that this costs 1 black and I can cast it for as many black that I have. But that's it.
Should I keep the 5-lander? I'm gonna say
There's only 2 tutors in this fucking deck.
because my 2 cards in my hand are like 4 drops, so I'm just gonna ship it back.
Right, let me randomize this here. Just the one time for the one time. There it is. I'm last. I deserve it. It's okay.
You get what you fucking deserve. I don't know if you guys have seen the new Joker movie. It's not very good, but
It'd be like that sometimes, dude.
it's true. I will say Lady Gaga can sing. She's got pipes on her.
She can get some pipes in her, if you know what I mean.
That too. That too.
As long as she'll be my sugar mama. Cause I need some bread.
Brother, I need some bread too.
I will keep, I think.
I will keep as well.
What about you, Mika? You keep
I'm good.
Shit. I don't like how confident you guys are sounding.
I'm not confident at all. It sounds really slow.
I'll keep it. I'll keep it. It's got 3 lands.
Squirrels in my hand. There's at least
It's
one
got 3
squirrel,
lands in it, and that strike costs 3, so I guess I gotta keep it, right?
Alright, I guess I'll show us off. Good luck, have fun.
After that.
Same to everybody else, but you.
Oh. Well, fuck you.
Sorry, bro. It's Civic life, you know.
Forest pass.
You draw. I'm going to play a Necroblossom Snarl, and I'm going to reveal a swamp. I'm going to tap that.
You better not tap that for its whole ring.
A Ravenous Squirrel.
Okay.
It is a 1/1, and whenever I sacrifice an artifact or creature, I can put a 1/1 counter on a Ravenous Squirrel, and I can pay 1, a black, and a green to sacrifice an artifact or creature to gain 1 life and draw a card. After that, I will then pass turn.
I'll just play Jungle Shrine tapped. And pass.
Yeah, I'll play this swamp and pass. Dude, my actual factual Doomblade does not work on that squirrel.
No. Well, at least it's not racist, so.
Evolving Wilds, I'll crack for an island and pass.
After that, you draw. I'm going to play a swamp. I'm going to tap the swamp to cycle Baronmoor, discard it, and draw a card. I'm then going to tap 1 mana to play a Skull Clamp.
No.
Kill him. Kill him now.
I will then, well, since Mika said no first, I will say yes to the Ravenous Squirrel, swinging at 2, which is a fair proposition.
Swinging at who?
Mika, just 1.
Ouch.
Because I feel like my Skull Clamp's not long for this world. I'll pass turn.
Cool. I'll play a Plains. I'll tap the Jungle Shrine, the Plains, and I'll play Explorer. Draw a card. And for my second land of the turn, I'll drop a Desert of the Indomitable. And pass.
Swamp. Pass.
Reliquary Tower and pass.
Keep and draw.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't realize this was a sorcery. I'm gonna cast this Beanstalk Giant Adventure Side. It's just like a random
Yeah,
growth.
go
and
find
then
out basic.
it's just gonna be cast later.
Okay, I'm just gonna play a Llanowar Waste, and I'm gonna tap 3 mana for my commander. I'm gonna go to combat, and one trick, I'm going to
What's that?
hit you for 1 with Ravenous Squirrel. By the way,
That's
Ravenous
worthless.
Squirrel's artwork has a hand in the thing, which is a hole. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
And I will pass.
Man's got to eat, bro.
Oh, it is ravenous. It says it
Winter
right
is-
there on the name.
Draw. I'll play Forest Return. And I'll go green 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to play Map the Frontier. I'll fetch for 2 deserts, and they'll enter the battlefield tapped. They'll deal 1 damage when they enter each. So I'll deal 1 damage to Gabagool and 1 to One Trick. And I'll pass.
Play this swamp. Tap for 3, cast Acererak. Go into the dungeon of Mad Mage, I'll gain a life. This will bounce
Why
back to
am
my
I
hand.
at 37? Did I take damage?
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, how the fuck did you get 37?
I don't
I think
Sorry.
it's 40.
I don't have. I was just gonna let it happen.
Oh, I mean, like,
I'll discard
if
this
you're
living
not
death.
you're at
Okay.
40.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Then yeah, never mind. Where is it? There we go.
Surf, you good?
Oh, nice. Man, sorry. Here,
Okay.
this game. And tap up, keep, draw. It's a good draw. What did you cast, One Trick?
My commander
Okay.
Where is it?
in my hand.
Oh, right. Enters, you bounce it. Roger. I'll cast my commander. And then I'll play a Prismatic Vista as land return. So on landfall, I'll manifest Dread, which is look at the top 2. One enters as a manifested face down 2/2 creature, the other goes to the graveyard.
Yes, sir.
I'll put that face down. I'll put a Scoot Swarm in the graveyard. And then I'll crack the Prismatic Vista. And that's gonna, since my second landfall, it's gonna allow me to flip a face down creature. So I'm gonna flip this Curator Beastie. I don't get the ETB because it didn't enter, it just flipped.
Very well.
So I'll pass.
Tap, I'll keep and draw. Please be a land drop. Please be a land drop. Oh, bend me over. I'm gonna tap 1, and I'm gonna this and Skull Clamp my Ravenous Squirrel.
Did
Yeah.
you?
I need a land drop, brother. I'm gonna play a forest, and I got it.
Chatterfang's gonna mutiny.
Actually, hold on. Gotta take away that forest. Bruh. This is actually shit. Do we have any artifacts or enchantments?
Nope. Not
Skull
on my
Clamp.
side.
Oh, I could get rid of Skull Clamp. But I need land drops. I'm just gonna play. Yeah, I'll just play Let's play Forest. And then after that, I'll pass turn.
Yeah. All right. I will read 1, 2, 2. And I'm gonna play Ramontep of Excavator. I can play lands from my graveyard.
I just got hit with a fucking flashbang.
Word.
What'd you say that card's name was?
Ruinap
Excavator.
I'm an app excavator.
No, I was trying to ask. I wanted you to say it how you said it again.
Oh, I honestly I don't know how I pronounced it, man.
Yo, it just floored the shit out of me.
Shit. Red 1. I'm gonna play Bitter Reunion, discarding Sun Scorched Divide, and drawing 2. I will drop this Plains, tap 2 for Winding Way. I'm going to choose Creature. So I'll reveal the top 4, put all cards of the chosen type revealed this way in my hand, the rest of my graveyard. That's not that. That's not that. That is that. And so is that. So Angel of Ruins and Sun Titan go to my hand. I'm discarding a Mountain and a Heaven/Earth. I'll play that Mountain for turn. And pass.
Play a swamp. Tap for 2 for a Mind Stone, and tap for 3 for a Fleshbag Marauder. So everybody sack a creature.
No.
Mickey, you gotta sack a creature, brother.
Oh. My bad. You kind of cut out on my end, so I didn't hear that part.
Tap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to cast Threats around every corner. It's an enchantment. It says when it enters, I manifest dread, and whenever a face-down permanent I control enters, I get to search for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tapped.
God damn.
Yeah, it's nuts in this deck. So, I shouldn't be doing this yet. First I manifest dread.
In response.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think
Yes.
that's just a little too good. I'm going to tap 2 for Tear Asunder. I'm going to.
What are you
exile
responding
target
to?
artifact
The manifest dread?
Threats around
I guess
every corner. So when threats around the corner ETBs, I'm going to respond to it with Tear Asunder. So you still get. It should just get rid of it.
Wow, that's fucked up.
It'll be exiled
Well,
though.
Yeah, exiled, yeah. I thought about it and I was like, and then I read your commander and I was like,
Heard. Alright, I'm going to play this Misty Rainforest as land for turn. I'll manifest dread.
I'll be back. I'm going to grab a beer. I don't have any responses.
Yo, can you grab me one too, please? Thank you.
yeah.
That one in. I'm going to brainstorm in the graveyard. And I will crack the Misty. deck have any fetchable things? Doesn't appear to be. We'll just get a forest. Oh, forest winter, right? And that's my second one, so I can flip one of these things. I'm going to flip this one and augur a bottom. So I can look at the top at any time. I can play lands from the top of my library. And if I have 3 creatures with different powers, which I don't currently, I can cast creatures off the top as well. Okay, we'll send 3 commander at you, Acererak. You killed my 6/6.
You sacrificed it, actually. Actually, you sacrificed it. I didn't kill it.
I guess.
Roger that.
You had a whole nother creature to sack, too. Nah, brother, not on me.
I'm going to tap 4 for a Toski, Bearer of Secrets. And I'm just going to play Golgari Rot Farm, returning a swamp to my hand. And then after that, I will pass turn.
Okay. Untap. Draw. Tap. Green, green, red, red. 1, 2, 3.
Giddy.
I'll play Omnath, Locus of Rage.
Bruh.
It's not good.
I'll drop a forest for turn, which will trigger Omnath. Oh man, where is my token for that? I'll just put a token. I'll put a count like this dice on him because he is also a 5/5 elemental. And with 2 mana, I will. Ooh, I'll sack this forest. Yeah, I'll tap this forest, sacrifice Bitter Reunion to give my creatures haste until end of turn. And I'll swing. So I'm only getting the art card for Tulsi when I scan it. Does it have Death Touch or anything?
It has indestructible. But that's it.
That's it. Okay. I will swing my token 5/5 over at Surf City. And I will leave one of them untapped. Actually, so just the 1/5/5 over at Surf City.
Is it trample?
Nope.
I'll take it.
Okay. This green dice is just going to be here to show that one of them is tapped. And I will pass off of that.
Draw 2 for an arcane signet. And then I'll just tap for 3, cast Acererak. Go to 2, so I'll scry 1. I'll put that on the bottom. And I'll pass.
Okay. Does someone have something they can possibly do about the Omnath?
What's in it for the person that could?
Not getting hit with Omnaths.
Yep. Getting rid of Omnath so we don't lose. That's another one.
Wait,
Gee, if only someone had a Terra Sunder, I think that would have worked.
I did have a Terra Sunder. It's true, but that was also,
Nah.
I would say, an equal threat.
I don't have any answers right now, but let me draw for chance. That is not an answer. Okay. Tap 6. I'll cast AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait. I can play an additional land on each of my turns, and on landfall, I draw a card. I'll play this Fabled Passage as land for turn. I'm going to stack the AC trigger on the stack first and resolve No, I'm going to do Zimone on stack first, resolve AC first. So draw a card first, and then I'll Manifest Dread. Okay, I'll put Growing Dread into the graveyard and put this card face down. And then I'll crack the Fabled Passage. Grab an island. That's gonna draw me a card. And then I get to flip a permanent that's face down. Flip this guy. It's a Thunderfoot Baloth. So it's a 5/5 trample and has Lieutenant. So if I control my commander, this gets all my creatures get +2/+2 in trample.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. I'll look at the top. I'm going to play this Ash Barrens as my second land for turn. Go spacey. And that'll draw me a card. And it will let me flip another permanent. So I'm going to flip this Myriad Landscape. Which enters untapped, I guess. It's not entering. Kind of cool. Alright, I'll go to combat. So, Mika, can you? I'm a little confused about your board state.
I just
the Omnath is untapped.
Yeah, the Omnath, the original Omnath is untapped.
What do these dice mean?
This because there's two of them. There's two.
Can you just use a face down card?
Yeah,
sure.
So he has
Like,
one token
yeah.
and he has one Omnath. The token is tapped.
So nothing has
Omnath
counters.
Nothing has
No.
counters. No.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I'll send Zimone at you, and I will send Augur of Autumn at you, Ghoul. 4/5 trample at you, Ghoul, and a 5/5 trample at you, Mika. That's 5/5, right?
Yeah,
Should
Omnath's a
check.
5/5.
Yeah.
I'll eat the 5.
Okay.
I will take
Commander.
the. I'll block, but I'll take 3.
Yep. I'm gonna pass.
Well, I no longer feel like I need to do anything about Omnath because I feel like there's other threats besides my life total. I'm gonna play Swamp.
Whatever do you mean?
One trick. Would you let a brother hit?
Yo. I have. That's no, I won't.
I will swing at you.
Just please, for the love of God, rephrase it. Don't. What the fuck?
Okay, I'm sorry. Will you let Toski tap? Sorry, my bad. Will you let Toski damage you by 1?
Yeah.
I think you're missing the point of his comment.
We'll draw. Man, I really don't have a lot to do here.
He's saying you're playing a game, just own it and attack him.
No. Definitely not.
Very well. I will tap.
What were
3.
you saying?
And I'll play Chatterfang Squirrel General.
Bro tried to diddy me just now, bro. I'm not letting that through.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep 3 mana up. Actually, I feel like Chatterfang.
Wait, doesn't Chatterfang cost 5 this time?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yep. Whoops. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all my mana. My bad. Sorry. Commander tax is a thing. I
Okay.
forgot about that. After that, I'll pass turn,
All right.
and then I'll
The
pay 1
fuck
to
is
equip
commander
Squirrel.
tax?
Yeah. What's
Don't pay
commander?
my taxes.
My commander's in my hand. What is a tax?
Play a plains. Go green, green. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And I'll play Lumra, Bellow of the Woods.
That's bad.
How many lands in your graveyard currently?
Only one.
I mean, he'll
But
mill
I
it.
mill.
Yeah,
cards
hold
and
on.
then I
Anyone
return.
responding?
Hold
Yeah,
on.
anyone responding?
Hold on. Do you have anything, Matt?
Can't do anything,
Okay, it looks like
unfortunately.
it's going through, Doug.
Milling 1, 2. Ouch, ouch. Okay, I milled 1 land. Cool.
You get 2 lands back. That's 2 on triggers.
Yep, 2 lands, 2 omnaths.
Could have been worse.
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It could have been worse though.
Umra is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. I will swing 1, 5, 5. Let's see. You've got like big old stuff out now. All right, like 7, 7s now. I will not. I will just swing one of my 5, 5s over up at Gabagool.
Raw.
Yeah, I know.
It's all good. I'll take it.
And I'll just remember one of them is tapped, and I'll pass.
So,
Play a
is Skull Clamp equipped? Did you have the mana for that?
I did. I paid 5 because I have a Gold Guard Route Farm.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
didn't pay the tax. He had 3 up, but he had to pay 2 more, and then he put the skull.
I didn't know you had the rot for him.
Sure. 4 for Pigless Plunderer, I guess. And then I'll tap for 3 to cast Acererak. Make it. Yeah, I'll just make a treasure token. I'll pass.
Here, end step, I'll tap and sacrifice Myriad Landscape. So I'll get, I have 3 beach ready. A double island. Okay, I'm gonna draw first, I think. I'll just draw 2 from AC. And then I will manifest red once. Space down, put an explosive vegetation in the graveyard, and then I'll flip something. It's a forest. Okay. Tap up deep, draw. Let's ramen up excavator. I can play lands from my graveyard.
Nice.
Fabled Passage. Trigger these two. I will draw first, and then I'll manifest red. Put this face down as a manifest, and a island in the graveyard. And I'll play this. That's that. So I'll play this Myriad Landscape. That's my second land. So I'll manifest red first this time. Put this face down, put Disorienting Choice in the graveyard, and then I'll draw from AC. Cast a Primordial Mist. So at the beginning of my end step, I may manifest the top card in my library. I can exile a face down permanent I control to be able to play it that turn. So like if I have a face down instant or sorcery, for example, or anything really, I can exile it using Primordial Mist, and then I can cast it.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go to combat, and we've got a bunch of blockers now. I had a huge Loomer. How big is Loomer again?
12.
It's pretty big. No trample, right?
Nope. Just vigilance and reach.
Okay. These three guys heading your way, one trick. 7777755. I'm sending 19 damage at you. Everything's trample.
Okay, it looks like I'm taking 19, unfortunately, for some reason here.
You have a Pitiless Plunder, and you're the only one not playing a Precon. Quite scared of your deck.
I'm just casting Acererak.
I'll be honest.
You asked why. That's my reasoning.
I mean, so no reasons. Still stands. Yes, sir.
Yes, no reasons. Cast a Paranormal Analyst. Whenever I manifest dread, I can put a card in that went to my graveyard into my hand. I'm going to move to end step and trigger Primordial Mist. I will manifest this card. Pass.
Bruh, to be honest, I think I'm kind of the only one actually playing the Precon. This is crazy.
The only card that I've played that I added is Lumra.
Bruh.
Every card I have in play is from the Precon.
What? That's crazy. I have not kept it with Magic, so fair enough. Damn.
Sorry, this Paranormal Analyst is an uncommon from the set. It's not in the Precon.
I'll play a Swamp. Hey, one trick.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to hit you for 4. Sorry, 5.
Oh,
I'm sorry, brother. I need the 2 cards. I need to
How
find
big is
something
the
to do
Chatterfang?
about these things.
How big is the Chatterfang?
He is a 4/2.
Yeah, I'll block Toski.
All right. Very well, brother. Do you have any way to kill Chatterfang?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Chatterfang
Oh,
has
he-
Forest Walk. You could have swung at Matt or me.
Oh, whoops.
This
Yeah,
is true.
I forgot about that.
I've already resigned myself to just being dead for whatever reason.
Very well. Draw. Bruh. Play Swamp for turn. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have enough to do that. Typical guard farm for a guard signet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for a casualties of war. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, 1 target creature, 1 target enchantment, 1 target land, and 1 target planeswalker.
If there's
Okay.
not a planeswalker you can target, you can't cast that.
That's
No,
not
it's
true.
choose
It
one
says
or
choose
more.
one or
does
more.
it say up to? Okay, never mind. There's one that is like that. It's Decimate.
Yeah, decimate.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Do we have any artifacts?
I have a treasure token.
I
I'm not
don't
going to
have
do that
any.
to you. I'm not going to do that.
I
No,
don't have
like
any.
Okay.
I'd rather you do the treasure token instead of my mana rocks.
Surf City. If I do not target any of your things, may I receive 1 turn of not dying?
Sure.
Very well. Mika, I will
Yes.
be killing. I think it's got to be Omnath.
Understandable.
At the same time, I mean, you also are kind of the only thing. So, where do you want the 3 damage to go?
Yeah, that's true. I do get to throw 3 damage around. Do you have anything that I'd kill with 3 damage over there, Surf City?
No. Everything's +2, so the smallest is 4 toughness.
Hold on. We can kill Zimone. I can sacrifice my Chatterfang.
If you're down, I'm down. I'll do
I'm
3
down
damage to
already.
Zimone.
You're going back on the agreement?
I know I said specifically.
He didn't target.
Yes, I will say casualties of war. I said I will not target yourself with casualties of war. I didn't say anything about Chatterfang.
Quite certain you did not specify that, but okay.
Okay. I mean, if you don't want to uphold the deal, that's fine.
No, do whatever you want.
Okay.
What's up? So what are you doing?
Uh,
Are you
I will
activating
be-
Chatterfang?
What are the rest of the targets? I guess.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
who's
I
targeting
finished
what?
The casualties of war. Sorry. Target enchantment. Does anyone have any besides Surf City?
Nope.
Does anyone have any lands that are
I've
dead?
got a few of them. Got 12 of them.
I have
Any good ones? or
Reliquary
just,
Tower and Myriad Landscape.
I have none that are super good.
I got some
I
swamps.
guess. Okay, just destroy one of them, Mika. And all right, that'll be the spell.
So
And then I
what
will
happened
pay-
when Omnath died? What did you do the damage to?
Zimone.
Zimone. And then I will pay the 1 to sacrifice my Chatterfang to draw 2 and to kill Zimone.
Yippee.
And then Chatterfang is now 7 mana.
I'm just going to respond. I'm going to sack the Fabled Passage. So I'm going to draw a card and Manifest Dread. But she's still going to die, probably. And I'll draw 1, and then I'll Manifest Dread. Put this card face down. I'll put a filter out into the graveyard, but then it'll go to my hand because of Paranormal Analyst. So filter out is in hand. And she'll die.
Cool. And is that turn?
That is turn. Sorry, I'm bad.
Oh, you're cool.
I'll be back.
I'll draw. I'll play a Painted Bluffs for turn. Tap 3. The 3 colors. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Discount.
Wait, didn't he have to sack Toski too? Because she was a 5/5.
Toski's
Right.
indestructible. Why would he have to sack it?
Well, sack
Oh,
X squirrels,
Zimone's-
target creature
Zimone's
gets plus
big.
X minus X till end of
Yeah,
turn.
I dealt 3 damage to it with
He's
Ahmed.
saying his Zimone.
Yeah, 5 minus
You
3
have
is
to
2.
sacrifice your Toski as well.
Oh, you're right.
You can
Yeah,
sacrifice
yeah, I
both.
will sacrifice Toski. Fair enough.
I will play Yuma. When it enters, I'll sacrifice Desert of the Indomitable. Create myself a plant warrior. And draw a card. Then I'll go green 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll play Hour of Promise. I'll search for 2 deserts. They'll enter the battlefield tapped. And I will create 2 2/2 zombies. I'll fetch for those lands in a second if you don't mind. I'm just going to move to combat. And I'll swing my 14/14 with Vigilance up at Surf City.
And I'll block with this manifest.
Okay.
It's a Drownyard Temple that'll go to the graveyard.
All right. And let's see, 1 desert. And I'll do Dunes of the Dead for the other desert. When this one enters, it will deal 1 damage to any player. Surf City, you're just going to get pinged for 1.
Yeah.
And I'll pass.
Play a Swamp. Tap for 3. Cast Acererak. Scry 2. I'll put it like this. Tap for 3. Cast Acererak again. Make 1 skeletons. And pass the turn.
On your end step, I'm gonna tap 2 blue. I'll cast a Dig Through Time. So I'm gonna have to delve 6 for the colorless. So I'll get rid of Explosive Vegetation. Land. And 4. Five. 6. It will all be exiled. And then I will look at the top 7, put 2 into my hand, and the rest on the bottom in any order. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll take this one and this one. And tab upkeep and draw. Oh boy. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll cast this Beanstalk Giant from the adventure. So it's power and toughness, the number of lands I control. I currently have 7. 6 is 13. I'll go ahead and play. Yeah. I'll play a couple more lands. So I'll play Misty Rainforest. Wait, hold on. What's up top? Yeah, Misty Rainforest. That'll trigger AC, I'll draw a card. Then I'll play this Prismatic Vista. Trigger AC again, draw. And I will attempt to resolve an overwhelming stampede.
Ooh.
It
I have no
resolves.
responses.
It's going to give my board +15/+15 and trample.
It's pretty much game then, huh?
I think so.
Sorry, boys. What did I miss?
We lost.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
If he has
not
anything.
yet.
My bad. Sorry.
So I played a Beanstalk Giant, the one from the adventure. It's a 15/15 with my lands, and then I'm attempting to resolve Overwhelming Stampede, which gives +X/X, where X is my biggest creature. So it's going to give +15/+15 and trample.
Oh, we're
And
dead. Gotcha.
probably. I mean, does anyone have anything?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll tap for 2 and attempt to cast a Doomblade on the Beanstalk Giant.
In response to this? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I have no answer for that, so... Oh, it's actually 17. I forgot the Baloth. So that's fine. That will die. And then my next biggest creature is...
Well, that's only
50?
as long as your commander's out, right?
Oh, good point. Yeah. So it's just 5. So +5/+5 trample to the board.
Still pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, still good. But not everyone dying. Okay, so how much
Received one
do
here.
I have? 7. +21 plus 40. 61. How many cards does everyone have in hand?
I have 3.
7.
I have 3.
Yuma's in play?
Yes.
Okay. Not enough mana to do anything. I'll go to combat and send... I guess I'll knock you out, Gabagool, just because you have the
Brother.
biggest hand and you're
What
probably the
I
most
will
likely to
say
wipe my board.
is that we did have a deal, but if you don't want to hold it, it's fine. I'll die.
Well, yeah.
You're right, I forgot about that. I do want to hold my deal, so I will not attack you.
Very well.
Yuma, how many blockers do you have?
I have 3 5/5s, 2 2/2s, a 4/2, a 6/6, and I believe that's a 13/13.
Interesting.
6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13/13.
All right. I am not attacking. Pass.
Good deal. Keep. And draw. The Grim Backwoods. Actually, hold on. Oops. We're gonna start digging. Tap 3 for a tireless provisioner. I'm gonna play a swamp. I'm gonna get a treasure token. Doop. I'm going to tap 2 mana, go Garbot Farm for an Idol of Oblivion. And since I made a token this turn, I will draw a card. Well, that's not more clear, but that's something. So with my 1 treasure token, I'm gonna move to equip Skull Clamp on Tireless Provisioner. And then I will have to pass turn.
Okay. Let's see. Untap. Nothing on my upkeep. I'll draw. I have so much I could play, but nothing that will, I don't know. Let's see. I guess it depends on what I have for mana here.
Mika, I
Yeah.
will say that I can get rid of one thing before I probably die. So I can't war clear anything, but I can definitely get rid of one thing.
Okay. Well, I can get rid of a couple of things, I think. Let's see. White. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other one I want to play is green, 1, 2. Okay. Cool. So first, tap that. I'll play a Sun Titan. And I'll bring back this Satyr, the Satyr Wayfinder.
What happened to the 4/2 that Yuma made when he came in?
It's right here.
Oh, okay. And that's it.
You're good. And then green, 1, 2. Yes. For a greater good.
Ooh.
Two, I'll play the Satyr Wayfinder. Look at the top 4 cards in my library. I can put a land from among them into my hand, put the rest in the graveyard. It's a forest. Unholy Heat. Eccentric Farmer. And a Terramorphic Expanse. I will bring the Terramorphic Expanse to my hand. Then let's move to combat. I'll swing my 14. No, it's still a 13/13. I haven't played a land for turn. A 13/13 with vigilance. My bad. Up at Surf City, and I'll swing Yuma up at Gabagool.
Oh.
It's a 6/6. On attack, I will sacrifice Dunes of the Dead. I'll draw a card and make a zombie. And make a plant warrior.
With that on the stack, I'm just going to tap 3, and I'm going to putrefy AC. And then Thunder Tireless Provisioner is going to block, and I'm going to draw 2 when it dies.
Cool.
Block with this manifest.
Cool. I will sack one of my plant warriors to greater good. I'll draw 4. And then discard 2. I'll exile Embrace the Unknown and Scavenger Grounds. When Scavenger Grounds hits the graveyard, I will make a plant warrior. And you know what? We'll do that again. I'll sack another plant warrior. Oh, wait, I have to discard one more card. That'll be a mountain. I'll draw 4. And then discard 3, which will be Desert of the True, which will make another one of these, an Arcane Signet, and a Perpetual Timepiece. And I will pass off of that.
Goddamn.
Tap for 4. I'll cast Mutilate. All creatures get -1/-1 until the end of turn for each swamp I control, which is 6. So everything will get -6/-6.
Goddamn.
In response to cast, I'm going to sacrifice I'm going to sacrifice each of my 5/5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Discarding these 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Discarding these 3. And I am discarding deserts, but it won't matter because they'll die. 1, 2, 3.
Well, you don't actually know that.
Oh, that's true. 4, 5. So I'll keep track. It'll be 5. Yeah, because I'll be.
I'm gonna crack these 2 fetch lands.
And Skullwinder. And last one. These 3. And so now those are dead. You know what? I'll do it with Yuma too. But I'll draw 6 and then discard 3. 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's all.
And
Resolves.
Yep.
Three. Cast Acererak. Bride 3.
how did you cast Mutilate? For like, what mana did you use for Mutilate?
I had a treasure token, a land, arcane signet, mindstone.
And now, how are you casting Acererak?
The 2 treasures I made, Ghost Pity Plunder, saw the 2 skeletons die, and then 1 black.
Okay.
Put this one on the bottom. And then 3 casts Acererak again, finishing the dungeon.
I'll respond.
Okay.
I'll pay 2 and reality shift him.
Okay.
So you get to manifest the top card of your library.
That sucks. That was going to get rid of the Lumra, but these 3.
Well, what's going to get rid of it? You still get the trigger.
Yeah, the card on top was the thing getting rid of Lumra.
Oh, I don't care about Lumra.
Swamp, which
The big dumb
cottage
no
and
trample.
reanimates. What's in graveyards?
Half my library.
Lots of stuff. What are you looking for?
I mean, it's a reanimate that I revealed into.
Oh.
I didn't know
no,
you
they have
revealed
it.
anything.
I guess I have Omnath, Bitter Reunion, the Excavator, Oracle of Moldiah.
Probably Omnath.
Targets are Dragon Predator, AC, Beanstalk Giant.
Oracle has to reveal the top.
Augur Bottom?
Oracle is.
No, I'm asking about Oracle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's reveal the top card of your library. You can play an additional land, and you play with the top card of your library. Yeah, you play with the top card of your library. You can play lands from the top. You can play an additional land.
Okay. Is there any life gain in anybody's graveyards?
No.
Okay. I'll just. Yeah, I'll just put the land into play. And pass.
Peppa Keep drop. Pay 6 for Zimone. I'll pay 5 for Tatiova Benthic Druid.
I
On
will
landfall.
bond. And I'm
Say
just
again?
going to path Zimone.
Seriously?
Hey, I'm trying to keep you open. I have a big old Lumra.
Okay.
No trample.
I'll respond. Cast Entish Restoration. Wow. Entish Restoration in response.
Okay, cool.
I don't control a creature power 4 or greater, so I just get 2 basics into play tapped.
What land are you sacrificing?
Don't care. Actually,
Sacrifice Reliquary Tower. Do it.
I will
Yes.
I could
get
do Reliquary Tower.
get 2 forests. That's going to trigger Zimone twice. Manifest Dread. Put that down, put Eureka Moment in the graveyard, and then I'll flip this Manifest. It's a Scroll of Fate. And after that, can't do anything, so Zimone dies. And I guess I get to fetch a basic.
Yeah.
I haven't left. Okay. Does it come in tapped? It does, right?
Yeah.
It does.
So Tatiova will see that one, so I'll gain 1 and draw a card. Alright, well, I have no other plays, so I guess I can do this. Should I do that now? No. Oh, wait. I'll go to end step, Primordial Mist will trigger, so I'll manifest this card. And then I'll discard a hand size. I'm going to discard a Wonder, so my creatures have flying as long as they control an island. And some other stuff.
Draw. I will untap, upkeep, and draw. I will play a Temple of Malady. I will scry 1. Oh, fingers on top. I will put that on the bottom. I will then tap a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with a Blue Guard Rock Farm for my commander, Chatterfang, Squirrel General. I will then tap 1, 2 mana for a Prosperous Innkeeper. When he ETBs, I get a treasure token, and then I make a 1/1 Squirrel. Yay! I think this is the first time Chatterfang is actually triggered for me this game. I'm going to tap Idol of
Nice.
Oblivion to draw a card.
You gain a life.
I do gain a life. You're correct. Sorry. Oops. Yep. I know how to play my deck. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay. I'm going to use my treasure token to move Skull Clamp onto my Squirrel. I'm going to kill my Squirrel. And we're going to draw 2. Fuck. Okay. I'm going to just go ahead and go to end step. I don't have anything, so I'm just going to discard Grim Backwoods. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so I discard 2 more. I'm going to discard a Swamp and a Skyfisher Spider. And after that, I will pass turn.
I'll draw. Then let's see if I can do what I want to do here. Green. 1, 2. Is that it? 1, 2, 3. And then the other one is what? Yeah, I won't be able to do all of it, but it's chill. So this is untapped land. I'll play Fecund Green Shell. As long as I control 10 or more lands, creatures I control have +2/+2. Whenever it or another creature I control with toughness greater than its power enters, look at the top card of my library. If it's a land, I can put it onto the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, I put it in my hand. I'll put that in my hand. It is Sevane's Reclamation. Wait, let's see. Green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I can do it. Then I'll play Avenger of Zendikar. So I'll create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I'll make 12 0/1 plants. That will put 12 triggers here on the stack.
Goddamn.
So I'll look at the top card. It's not a land. It goes into my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Finally, yay, 9. And that will put, so I had 12 of these. That'll put a 1/1 on each of my plants. That's 9. 10, another 1/1. 11, another 1/1. 12. These all are tapped. Move to combat. I will swing Lumra. I'm just going to try to keep punching a hole through that, your ever-growing wall, Surf City. I'll swing Lumra at that. Yeah, at you. Do you need me to count my lands? Or are you just going to chump block?
Yeah, I'm gonna tap Scroll of Fate, and I will put in a rid of. Guess I'll block with this Aether Gale.
Okay. Cool. I will move to end step / discard, and that will take a while. I'll pass. I'll keep. These can go.
You're on mute, man. Tricker, we can't hear you.
Bro.
I'll cast a reanimate targeting the Tireless Provisioner. Right, it's in your graveyard, right?
Not me.
I'm talking to Gavible.
Oh, yes, sir, it is. My bad.
I'll play a Witch's Cottage.
Sorry, what are you targeting Trials Provisioner for?
Just reanimating it.
Oh, bro.
Witch's Cottage, I'll make a food token. I'll put a. It doesn't do. I'll just put Payless Splendor on top. Isn't it me? That's me. I'm not even gonna do it. And then I'll just be passing.
Upkeep. Sure. Land per turn. Hinterland Harbor. Trigger Chatterfang. Gain a life. Draw a card. How big are the Avenger tokens? And how big is Lumra?
Oh, the plants. They all have +2 from this. So they are all 5/6s. And Lumra is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. Oh, +2. So 17, 17.
Kidoki. Two, three, 4, 5. Cast Oversimplify. It exiles all creatures, and then everyone makes an XX fractal that is equal to the total power toughness of everything that was exiled for you.
Ew.
Duh.
Okay. 5,
6, 4.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 8. Okay, so I have a 43 fractal.
Wait, how could it be that small? All of your plants too.
Because I have 12. Oh, shit. Yeah, I did my math wrong.
You have at least 60 power of plants.
Yeah, 12
Yeah.
times 5, and then
12
plus
times 5. That's
7 plus 17 plus,
Yeah, it's gonna be
plus
huge.
6.
so it's like a lot. I'm
Just say 100. It's just say 100. Who cares? I'm sure it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't matter exactly.
Commander for 8. 5. Whoops. Or they came from the pipes. When it enters, I manifest red twice.
I believe.
Red twice.
You hear me, Mika?
What was up?
It's at 88, I believe.
Oh, it's
I'm gonna draw a card. And then I manifest dredge again. Take this one. I draw a card. Exactly 8. Okay, whatever. Play Zimone for 8. Let's instead play Whisperwood Elemental. And I will pass turn after that. Beginning of my end step, manifest the top card of my library. I do that twice, once from this, once from this.
Very well. And draw. Okay. Well, play Forest. I will. Does anyone have any activated abilities of cards in their graveyard? Like activated abilities on the creatures themselves?
Presumably. Let me
I do not.
do my graveyard here.
6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12.
I do not.
I have a few. I'm just pulling them out.
Okay.
Oh, I might only have. Most of them are triggered. Okay. Yeah. So I guess
No, activate it.
only these two. This one's pay green, sack 3 creatures, return target land from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh.
And this one is tap to mill 2 cards, and you gain 1 life for each land card milled this way.
Okay. Yeah. I may be passing on those. Thank you, though. Man.
If you're exiling cards from like creature cards from graveyards though, like just incidentally, and you just happen to like be repeatable.
No,
I mean,
it has
there's
something
a
to do with
wonder in
activated
it.
abilities. It's like a scroll
Okay.
card, but I'm not going to get to play it, I don't think.
Yeah, I have a wonder. So if you can exile that, it's good for, is what he's saying.
No. It's only activated abilities.
Well, I know you only get the activated abilities. I know what card it is. It's the Squirrel, the like
Yeah.
something Brewmaster. It still can exile things that you just don't want there.
It
Is
can
the
get rid
point?
of wonder.
Do you understand?
It can.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say.
I will tap 5 for an Ogre Slumlord. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you may create a 1/1 black rat creature token. And rats I control have Death Touch. I'm going to pay 4 mana for Hazel's Brewmaster. And I'm going to exile a wonder from the graveyard. And I create a food token. Yay! So I'm going to tap Idol of Oblivion to draw a card.
Hold on a sec. Let me just read it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3 for a Scurry of Squirrels. It's a 2/2 with Myriad. And whenever it does combat damage to a player, I put a 1/1 counter on target creature I control. And after that, I will go. No, I'm just going to pass turn. I really don't have anything.
Draw. Okay. We'll try going wide again. Green, 1/2. To play a Scoot Swarm. I'll drop this Sheltered Thicket as my land for turn. Make another Scoot Swarm. I'm gonna tap green, white, red to recast my commander, discounted by a ton. When it enters, I'll sacrifice Conduit Pylons, draw a card, make Plant Warrior. Okay. Then let's see. We'll go green, green. 1, 2, 3. I'll play the Mending of Dominaria. I will mill 2 cards, then I can return a creature card from my graveyard to my hand. Milling 2. And I will bring... you know what? Just for old time's sake, I'm going to bring Omnath back to my hand. Let's see. What do I have? 4 mana. I will tap this Plains for a Soul Ring. And tap these 3, the Soul Ring. I'll have 1 floating, nothing to use it for. And I'll play Curie, Talented Sprout. Other plants and tree folk I control get +2/+0. I guess I'll just swing my big fuck off token up at Surf City. Just keep punching.
Sure. I will block.
I'm just waiting for this Rogue's Passage to come out.
Block with this.
Cool. And pass.
On your end step, I'll tap for 2. Sacrifice this food, gain 3 life. I'll tap 1 Psych Mind Stone to draw a card. Draw. This isn't very good. I'll tap 1 Soaring. And
Library. That's my hand.
yeah. Just pass.
Okay, on your end step, I'll tap the Scroll of Fate to manifest this card from my hand. Tap keep, draw. Drop. Oh, I have that land in my graveyard. Okay. Zimone costs 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Doing the right thing.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Have any creatures died?
Not
Yeah.
on my turn.
What point?
Like since my last turn. Sorry, I was
No.
gone.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Just wait. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Replay Zimone. Play Overflowing Basin as land for turn. Manifest Dread. I'll put postcard face down and a Steve in the graveyard. So face down creature enters and I draw a card from they came from the pipes. Alright, I will I'll go to combat and I'm going to send this creature at you, Mika.
Okay. I will just throw Yuma in front of it.
These creatures
Okay.
have flying. Oh no, they don't. They took this other one. Thank you.
Yeah. So before damage, I'm going to tap 3 and use this Drownyard Temple's ability to return it from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That'll trigger Zimone's second ability, so I'll flip this manifest. It's a World Spine Worm. It's a 15/15 trample.
Cool. I'll take 7, and Yuma will die.
And we'll make a rat.
Oh, that was my big trick. I'll move to end step. Whisperwood will manifest. I'll draw a card from They Came from the Pipes. And then Primordial Mist will manifest. And I'll draw another card. And I have to discard a hand size, but I'll pass.
Okay. Tap. I'll keep and draw. I'll play a forest return. So yeah, I'll tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Chatterfang is 9 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's 7.
No, last time was 7. It is 9. Okay.
Okay.
I'm tapping 9, 1 go guard rot farm. Or so I'm tapping 8. We'll play Chatterfang. Oh. You're an expensive guy. Sorry, go guard 8 is untapped. I'm just gonna tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a Molderblind Reclamation. Whenever a creature I control dies, I gain 1 life and draw a card. Pretty good. I'm gonna go to combat, and I'm just gonna swing Hazel's Brewmaster, my Scurry of Squirrels. So Scurry of Squirrels is gonna be coming at is coming at 1 trick, and so Mika and Surf City, you both have 2/2/2 squirrels coming at you, and you just have a 2/2 coming at you, 1 trick, and I get 2 squirrels off that trigger.
I'll block with a 0/3 and a taking the 2.
Okay. Surf City, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'll block with the 4/4 and the 5/5.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'll block.
okay, 1 trick you're blocking.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will have 3 of them die, which means Moldavine Reclamation's on the trigger, Ogre Slumlord's on the trigger. I'm going to do Moldavine Reclamation first. I'm going to draw.
Slumlord doesn't trigger their tokens.
Oh, you are correct. Sorry, whoops.
It triggers once because you attack the original at me and it'll die.
Yeah, that will die. Sorry. So Slumlord will trigger. So that's 1. Then Chatterfang is going to trigger off him. So I do 1 Moldavine Reclamation, draw 1 card, gain 1 life.
No, you draw 3 from Moldavine because you had 3 creatures there.
Oh, you're right. It's not non-token. Yep.
Yeah, you just make 1 rat.
Very well. Okay. And then... So
it's a
off the
rat and a
trigger,
squirrel. But
get 1 rat, get 1 squirrel. And then... I think that's it.
Cool.
Should be. We'll pass turn, and I need to discard the hand size.
Untap, go to the second part of this saga. I'll mill 2 more cards. I'm more likely to die from not having any cards in my graveyard right now.
Seriously, same here. Look at my library.
Yeah, that's mine. Then let's see. We'll go red, green, green. 1, 2, 3. To recast Omnath. Then I'll drop a Plains for turn. Hit my landfall triggers. Five. I get to. I get to just bring a creature back.
Question. Did
Yeah.
either of you kill Hazel's Brewmaster? Sorry, Mika, did you kill Hazel's Brewmaster?
He swung Hazel's Brewmaster at 1 trick, and 1 trick killed it.
Oh, yeah. Tight. So,
sorry.
I think 1 trick blocked the scurry that you sent to him.
yeah.
He only has 1 blocker.
Hazel's Brewmaster, I believe, is coming at you, Mika.
Oh, okay. Then.
So you had 2 2/2s and a 3/4.
I only took into account the 2/2s, so no. Hazel's Brewmaster lives, and I'll take the 3.
There you go. Sorry.
My bad. I didn't
thought it
realize.
okay. Would you exile from a graveyard for the Hazel?
Hazel exiled Wonder like 20 turns ago.
Yeah, it's an attack trigger as well.
What? Oh, it is.
It does it
Holy shit.
on attack and on enter.
AC. Fuck. I don't know.
I'll bring back. So I'll play recast Sun Titan, and I'll have Sun Titan return.
Maybe I should have chosen Sun Titan. I don't know. Well, that's too bad.
Bitter return. We'll come back to my hand. No, to the battlefield. So bitter return enters. I am not going to do the.
Is that the reunion?
Yeah, bitter reunion. I meant. And I'll tap the 3 requisite to recast Yuma. Sacrificing this desert. Drawing a card and plant. Move 2 and then through combat. And Kiri will trigger. And I'll return a plant creature. I'll do Rumbleweed. Then, oh hell yeah! And then I'll tap 1 and play Rumbleweed. It is an 8/8 Vigilance, Reach, Trample. It costs less for each land in my grave. When it enters, other creatures I control get +3/+3 and gain Trample until end of turn. That doesn't help me much, actually. Damn it. Oh well. I'll still do that. But I'll pass.
Oh, he didn't activate it?
He came in after my second main second main phase.
No, I was talking about your bid and reunion.
No. I'm saving that. That's my mystery mouse tool. I'm saving that for later.
I'll play the swamp. I'll pass.
Okay, on your end step, I'll tap 8. I'm gonna channel this Shigeki Jukai Visionary. So channel cost is double green and double X, so X will be 3. And I'm going to return 3 non-legendary creature, or sorry, not creature, 3 non-legendary cards from my graveyard to my hand. Is that good? Oh, well, it's hard to interact with. I will grab... Yeah, need a like triggered like a stifle or something.
Yeah.
I'll get the Beanstalk Giant, the Dig Through Time, and the Overwhelming Stampede. Okay, and then I'll tap Scroll of Fate and I will manifest for this card. Alright, and then I'll do my turn and tap. Oh, and I draw a card when the face down creature enters. And tap, upkeep, draw. And I'm gonna cast this Beanstalk Giant for 6, 7. I'm gonna cast Overwhelming Stampede.
Yeah.
Any responses?
Nope.
I'll tap for
Okay.
4. Cast an Hour of Glory, targeting your Beanstalk Giant.
Hour of Glory.
It's just exile target creature, and then I guess reveal the rest of your hand. Oh, well, it's not God, so don't do that. But exile.
How much mana do you have up?
A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8.
Okay. Sure. Anything else?
I'll tap for 4. Exile the World Spineworm.
Be casting?
Vraska's Contempt.
Trick is the hero of this table.
Yeah.
Counterspell?
Oh, counterspell.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. So plus 15 and trample to the board.
Yep.
I'll send 2 at you, 1 trick. These 2 at you, GABA. Or these 3 at you, GABA. And everything else at you, Mika.
How many creatures is that?
6 at Mika, 3 at GABA, 2 at 1 trick.
I've got a question for you.
They're all 17 power or larger.
So I have 1 damage coming at me.
Who asked that?
Or not?
It would be 6 times 17 at least.
At me? I thought it was 3.
At
Who's
least.
me? Hold on. Can you guys stop?
Okay.
So who's asking how much damage is coming at them?
I think all of us.
Okay.
Okay.
So at 1 trick, it's like 50-ish. At you, Gabagool, it's 51. And at you, Mika, it's 6 times 7 is 102 plus 5.
Cool. Well, that's
119?
119.
Yeah.
So I think I can actually survive here.
I'm gonna do my damnedest. Let's see. I block 1 for 88. Whatever the biggest one is.
4, 7,
Block
13, 14.
here for 8.
Just trying to end this game.
I get it. 6.
I feel like we've been playing for a year.
We
I've
have
been playing for 2 hours.
Jesus Christ. And then these 2 5/5s. That's 8 plus 12 plus 10 plus 4, right, plus 3. So I'll block whatever the biggest one is with my 88. And then I can still block 37 power.
Don't think that's enough.
I don't know. It depends on how big the biggest one is.
They're all relatively similar in size.
Okay,
The
then
biggest one is 22, and the smallest one is 17.
Cool. Then I think I'm just dead. I was hoping to return all lands to the battlefield next turn, and then swing with big fuck off scoots.
All right. So my survival is predicated on me not knowing how this works. Molderbind Reclamation. Do I survive or do I die? If I
You
would
die.
take leap.
No, you'll die. So the triggers will go on the stack when everything dies, including you, but then your triggers will fall off the stack.
Yep, I'm dead. Good game.
Good game.
Oh, that was a doozy.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.